Good afternoon and welcome in on what is an incredibly warm day for us here in the UK. By comparison, elsewhere in the world, it's perhaps not so warm, but we're not used to it being quite so warm as it is today. So we're all feeling a bit melty. So I have my fan whirring away in the background, and hopefully that will help us to continue on as we do some crafting this afternoon. So my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is lovely to welcome you in, as I say, on this warm afternoon to say hello and to do some crafting with you. So let me introduce first of all myself. This is where you will find all things relating to my business, whether that is classes, downloads, links to shops, blog posts, all of those sorts of things are over there on my website. So do go and check those out. Um, this month, we are nearly at the end of July. So only what remains of today and tomorrow to go. So these things here, some of them are going to be more than happily available. Morning from Florida, Jackie. So I expect you're probably a bit warmer than we are, but we just feel it over here because we're not used to it. We're not built for it. Um, so yes, so some of these things are still going to be able to access during July and August, but these are the what's happening this month. We've got our earn to redeem promotion going on. So you have the end of today and tomorrow to put in an order of £45 or more, or whatever your equivalent is, wherever you are in the world, and to earn yourself a voucher, which you are then going to be able to start spending from the beginning of August. So you earn those vouchers in July, you spend them in August. So we're still in the redeeming part of the promotion, but come the 1st of August, we will flip over into the spending part. Online exclusives, we saw some new online exclusives go up at the beginning of this month. They're very much still there. There's some Christmassy things in amongst that lot. There is some Halloween things. So if you are a lover of Halloween crafting, do go and check out um, the projects that are available on the online exclusives part of the website. And if you need any help finding those, do get in touch with me, or if you receive my newsletter, you will have had a little link that you could click on to see what they are through my newsletter, which went out about an hour ago. I tend to try and get it out on a Tuesday, and we have been successful today. It went out about an hour ago. And the other things that are there are the kits. So we have this beautiful thank you kit in July, and there was a lovely clown one as well. So there's a couple of lovely kits in July. So check those out on the online store as well. For anyone of you that are not quite so far away as Florida and might like to come along to classes here in the UK, in Northamptonshire, we've got some things that are coming up. So we have a Completely Crackers Games Night coming up. That's on Zoom. And that is happening on August the 4th. So 3 little easy projects to create and 3 fun games that we will play along. So do come and join us for that if you're somewhere locally where I can post you a kit. Monthly Card Club in August is going to be using the stunningly beautiful Thoughtful Journey papers and the coordinating stamps and dies. The technique class for August is going to be creating a little memory book out of the wildly flowering papers, and they are really pretty. I've got a few packs of them tucked under my desk here, and they are rather lovely, very sort of vintagey feel to them. Other things coming up in August, the Stamper Stack class for August is going to be using the very cute Hearts and Hugs bundle. And this coming Saturday is a Saturday Stampers. I do still have some spaces available on that if you would like to book in last minute. And the theme is going to be getting the shopping done. And we're going to be playing with one of the bundles that's going to feature in that class today. So do check out that. And then the retreat is sort of creeping up. It's the beginning of November, but booking is open and some people have already secured their place for the all-day retreat that is coming up in November. So I think that's a quick whiz of everything that is happening soon and everything for you to keep an eye open for. Let me just flick over and bring up my screen. This is what we're going to be playing with today, the To Market Sweet Collection. To market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity jig. There are no fat pigs featured in the stamp set though. It is very much vegetable based and there's flowers in the paper as well. I love this sort of little like cross stitchy stamp that you can see across the top here that is rather beautiful. Some nice sentiments in there. Bursting with happiness, thanks a bunch, hello and for you. And we've got this cabbage and there's a little I don't know, it could be a radish, could be a beetroot, what could be an onion. We've got carrots, we could make them into parsnips if we wanted to, and then we've got some tomatoes, so they're really lovely. And if we move on down, here are the die cuts, so you can see you've got dies that will die cut the cabbage. You've got one there for the beetroot and the onion and the carrots and the tomatoes. You've got some little flowers, this funny little grassy bit just here, and then you have this lovely string bag, which is great fun. It can be used for all sorts of things. And papers, we'll have a closer look at those in a minute, but you've got some lovely backgrounds there as well as some lovely sort of vegetable and floral images. The embellishments that go with this are the lovely transparent adhesive backed dots that are sort of lovely greens and a bit of blackberry bliss in there. And here's some of the cards that they created with the design team from Stamping Up. So there's some fun cards there, and these are the ones that you will find in your catalogue, but some good fun images there. Let us bring in my downward facing camera, and in front of me I've got the papers. I've got those dots. You can see you've got sort of a couple of shades of green, this sort of almost grey white in the top there, and some smoky slate almost colour. Some blackberry bliss ones as well, so some lovely dots. The stamp set, the dies and the papers, so lots there for us to have a play with. So a bit of two-step stamping because we have this sort of solid image just here, and then this bit to add the shading on. We've got tops and bottoms of carrots and other vegetables, and we've got our tomatoes here and our little spidery bits that go in the top, and as I say, this lovely sort of cross stitch image that comes all the way across there. It is a photopolymer stamp set, so that does mean that you're going to be able to see through it if you're positioning it. Hello Lorraine. And then we have, as I say, our dies. You've got a little bow here, and yeah, variety of little things. This could be, I would imagine this is your stems, your little flowers. So if you want to die cut some stems and flowers as well as your veg. You can see here that it cuts out the entirety of the veg, so you need to stamp your tops on your veg before you attempt to cut them out, so that all comes together. And the papers, as you can see, as I say, you've got some lovely backgrounds, blackberry bliss, sort of checked design. This has got lots of little tiny crosses on, so you can pick that up. And another, this is almost like they're not straight lines, it's sort of got a wonky checked pattern there, which is rather lovely. And this paper here that has some sort of darker shadings going through it. It's not just one solid colour, but you've got that dotty. And we've got this nice wooden piece just here, wood effect, and these lovely sort of ditzy flowers all over there. And if we turn them over, obviously these are going to fit with your dies as well. You can die cut your veg. Got this lovely floral background. It's rather fun, isn't it? Lots of flowers. There isn't a die for those flowers, so you would have to fussy cut those if you were doing them individually. A tomato paper, because you know, why wouldn't you want a tomato paper? And then lots and lots of bags. So it's got a nice recycling symbol on it. You've got string bags and pretty floral bags, big sort of baskets. You've got some barrels there as well. So some lovely things to put your fruit and veg into. So lots to play with. So let's have a look. Where shall we start? I'm going to take a piece of basic white and I'm going to cut this. I think to 12.9 by 8.5 centimetres. So that would be, oh, now I'm testing myself, aren't I? Testing myself in terms of what that would be in imperial. So it is, would be an inch off, wouldn't it? So it would be 4.5 inches by 3.25, I would think. Roughly. Each 0.5 centimetres, you normally sort of take about 1/4 of an inch off. If I'm taking 2 centimetres off, 4/4 is a whole, isn't it? That's my theory anyway. So an inch shorter than on either side than your card base, which is 4.5 by 3.25. It sounds logical. Whether it's right is another whole matter. I'm going to take this cross-stitchy stamp just because I love it. Do like a bit of cross stitch. I only tend to actually get round to doing my cross stitch when I'm on holiday. Doesn't tend to come out any other time of the year, but I do enjoy it when I'm sitting with my feet up. Right, let's have a think. What sort of colours are we going to use? We've got greens, we've got oranges, we've got reds. I'm thinking probably Poppy Parade for the tomatoes. Obviously pumpkin pie for carrots. I think we'd go a bit two-tone for the cabbage, so I'm thinking possibly Granny Apple Green and Lemon Lime Twist. Beetroot. I think I might go Berry Burst. And perhaps a piece of Decisions, pecan pie. We're looking at onions. We'll see. We'll see how that works. As you can see, my stamp set is completely unused as of yet. So I'm going to take my cross stitch. How fun is that? Thinking I'm going to have something in the middle. So there we have Poppy Parade. I think I'm going to come in with a line twist. I'm going to bring that down and bring it across a couple of stitches. Then we'll go pumpkin pie. Ooh. Down and across. Not sure why Ruby is barking. Who or what she is barking at. I think she can just hear people outside. Let's come in with some berry burst. She's been laying on the kitchen floor because that's the coolest place. It's very warm. We don't have air conditioning as norm here in the UK because, to be honest, it's not very often we're in need of it. Our houses tend to be built to insulate us against the warm, against the cold, rather than protect us against the warm. And when we do get a touch of warm weather, we do know about it. Right, I'm going to take one of the Spotlight on Nature circles. These are just so fab, aren't they? I don't know whether you're as much in love with them as I am. I don't need it that big. We'll go with that one. We'll go with that one with the dashed outline, I think. I'm going to cut that out of a piece of basic white card. Going to take some of our little veggies. Let's start with a solid cabbage and lemon and lime twist, I think. Now, because I am stamping these for the first time, I will do that onto my grid paper first. Right, so there's our one cabbage stamp. And let's bring in our other cabbage stamp, and we'll come in with Granny Apple Green, I think, to give this a bit more shading. Let's stand up. Add a bit of two-tone to our cabbage. I'll leave that green there just a minute because I'm going to bring in carrots next. I'll come this way. Not sure how long the tops are. Let's come one. Let's have two lots of carrots. do love fresh veg. Bit of cabbage. I don't like it overcooked. Tends to steam it so that it doesn't go all soggy and horrible. Bring in over the carrot tops. I think we'll come in with Granny Apple Green again on this one. Bring those down into the tops of our carrots. So these sort of cards would be fabulous if you've got somebody who grows a lot of their own veg. That has an allotment. Allotments, things that people have in other parts of the world. I don't know. They're very common here in the UK. I don't know whether they're a thing elsewhere. Let's bring in our poppy parade. I think I'm going to bring in a slightly darker green for the tops of our tomatoes. I'm going to bring in some garden green, I think. Let's do a couple of first stamps. Let's have some tomatoes. Sorry, I was just looking at, I've got any comments and things coming through on my other screen, which is fine, apart from I can't find my cursor. There we are. Let's put the top on our poppy parade and open up our garden green, and let's get out our little spiders, the top of our tomatoes. Now, which way do the spiders go? That way, I think. Or perhaps not. Perhaps that way. About there, I think. Spiders. What else have we got? An onion. A couple of onions. I'll go garden green again on those, I think. I do love these sort of little stamps where you're building things up. It's quite fun to see the picture sort of appearing before you. I'm going to go put this in my head as a beetroot, I think. Maybe a radish, although the leaves aren't right for a radish, I don't think. And let's come back to the granny apple green for the tops of those. I have to move those down. Those leaves are a lot bigger than you think they're going to be. So let's bring in another piece of card. Stamp the leaves. And then come back. With the beetroot. Now this is where you need to be very careful not to lose your tiny little stamps. That's everything. Stamps back on there for now. Think about find myself a bit of crumb cake card. Let's pop the lids on those ink pads for now so that we're not leaning in them. Always a danger. Let's bring in a mat. Bring those in and let's find our dies. So I think we'll have a string bag on the crumb cake. And let's have a bit of cabbage. Carrot. Obviously only going to be able to cut one carrot out on the first pass through. The other carrot will have to be the set of carrots will have to be patient. Onion. Tomatoes. And a little beetroot. So we'll have to come through and do the other ones in a minute. Let's pop that on there. Let's run that through the stamping, cut and emboss machine. A carrot. Gently, gently, cabbage. Onion. Tomatoes. Beetroot. Let's give that a bit of a beating. Just grab my take a pick tool and pop that gorgeous little bag, look at that, out of there. We'll have that on there as well. So then we just need to die cut our second lot of carrots. I just did the one cabbage and one tomatoes. We'll have our second onion. Move that out of the way. That's the only other one we want is our second beetroot. About like that. Let's bring in our top plate. Let's run that through. Beetroot. Onion. Throw these on here so we don't lose them. And last but not least, more carrots. Right, I'm going to put these to one side. Grab a standard white card base. It is actually one that opens this side, it's 10th fold. Just happens to be the one that I've got sitting up there. Let's have a little look at our papers. Oh, I laid that on top of something wet. That was silly. Let's cut ourselves a piece of this DSP. That is 10 centimetres wide, and this is the one with the sort of checks that are wonky lines. 10 by 14.4. Isn't directional necessarily, so it doesn't matter whether I cut it that way or that way. Bring in some glue. My glue is very lively today because it is warm. He said, obviously it wasn't this one I used earlier. Ooh, there it comes, it's splodged out now. Let's just move that splodge around a bit with a scrap bit of card, because we don't really want it splodging everywhere. And there is our nice mat of DSP. We're going to have that on a bit of an angle, or are we going to go? Yeah, we might go on a bit of an angle, I think. Now, I think I'm going to stick these inside the bag. Right, because this is a string bag, obviously we can have things poking out. We have another onion. There somewhere. Something like that. I'm going to turn that over. Turn that over and then wiggle it a little bit. And then we'll add some dots of glue to our bag. Add that in there. Add that down there. So there we have a shopping bag laden with goodies. The greengrocers or the market stall or wherever they've come from. And to pop some dimensionals on the back of this circle to raise it up. And let's have a little bit on the back of here. I think I am seriously melting here. Let's have that sitting that way on the front of there. And then let's have a go with our little might go with the bursting with happiness. And let's bring in garden green again because that's the colour of the paper in the background. Find ourselves a little bit of basic white. I have oodles of these strips of basic white left over from cutting down cardstock. Let's have a bursting with. Fingers are sticky now. Upside down bursting with on there somewhere. Thank you. And I think we'll cut round the happiness. And we come. We'll have happiness down there. So I'm going to bring in these edge pieces and let's just snip some of those. No, we're not going to want, we're going to want a piece of dimensional on one end, but not the other. Just where it overlaps. Both ends of those, both sides of the backing on that bit of dimensional to come off, so that's okay. Let's have that on there. We'll have some happiness just there. Stick. We have some bursting with here. I'll put my arm in the green then. And let's find some of these little gems. I think I'll have a big one and a small one that side and a small one that side. And then we have our shopping bag bursting with happiness and bursting with veggies. They're just really lovely, these stamps. They've got such lovely details in them. So there's one, bringing in those sort of lovely cross stitch as a design feature in the background. Let's have a look at some of the papers. I'm going to, I think, find a play with some of these papers, which is the one that's got the so I'm going to fussy cut a barrel. Because I can. So this is on the paper that's got all the bags and things on it. Just going to fussy cut this little barrel that's come across there. Move that to one side. I'm going to, so you can see how you can make up these flowers. So you've got that die cut, it's sort of like the stems, and then you've got all the little flower die cuts in there that you could make up your own little die cut bunches of flowers. But I'm just going to cut out these pre-printed ones because why not? They're there. And we come. Got some of the excess on this. And we come. Here's the bottom. I'm not going to worry about getting too fussy about the bottom of that. Let's bring in a... Now, I'm not going to worry too much by the fact that the edge of this paper is missing because I'm going to tuck it behind my red flowers. So that's okay. It doesn't matter that the edge is missing. Again, not going to worry too much about the bottom. That's going to be in the barrel. Round we come. I'll have that coming behind there, so we'll be none the wiser, but the edge of that the edge of that flowers is missing. I am indeed a grandma. Although none of my grandchildren call me grandma. Right, last one to be chopped off along the bottom. Very pretty. A pretty barrel full of flowers. I'll take this pretty Ditsy flower print, and I'm cutting that to 10 by 14.4. Oh, excuse me, I could feel that sneeze coming on. Or 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then let's take some everyday details dies. To move that to one side and bring in my big scissors and just cut a bit. It's big enough. Or to cut that, I'm going to cut this everyday detail die on this paper. Then here we are. The bit that's left behind, I can trim that up and use that as a frame. Actually, to bring in a piece of peach pie, I'm going to cut this to 14.4 by 10. I'm going to come back to our paper and I'm going to trim this down to 9 1/2. So that would be 4 inches by 5 1/4. This one will be 13.9 by 9 1/2, or 3 3/4 inches by 5. Just wanted that to have a bit of a mat in the background. So where's that gone? Find some, we'll go with crumb cake twine there. To tie this around the front of this barrel. I have to be fairly gentle because obviously the barrel is made from paper. I'm going to tie that in a knot and bring in my reverse tweezers to hold that in place for me. Missed that. missed that completely. Let's try once more with feeling. That's better. Right, let's move those tweezers out the way while we have a play with our notch, with our bow. A tweak with that. Right. Got some twine tied around there in a knot to give that a bow. Let's stick some of this down. One. Got these lovely veggies that could just be die cut. It's also equally fun to stamp them. Put my dotty rectangle in the middle. That one has not come out. Zip. Right, let's add some glue to that. I'll put that there. I'm going to build up the barrel of flowers before I stick it in place. We'll put some glue on there. Bring that up so that it's a bit higher up there, and then the Blackberry Bliss ones. And come in here. Right, let's turn this over, and then let's, again, we're using the outer edges of the sheet of dimensionals. Nothing goes to waste. Put a bit up here. Off you come. A bit in the middle. Bring that in here. Sit those on there. Ooh. There's a flowery barrel. And I think we'll have I think we've got to have a thanks a bunch sentiment, haven't we? Let's come in Blackberry Bliss. think we'll go. Right, actually, let's add that in the back there. With a dimensional. And we'll add this down the bottom here with some glue. And then let's think my glue dot the back of there somehow managed to stick itself to the packaging. That's better. I have one up there. So thanks a bunch. So 2 cards, one using the stamps and then die cutting them with that gorgeous little bag, and the other just really concentrating on the gorgeous papers in this suite and fussy cutting to create a big barrel full of flowers to say thanks a bunch. So whether you're bursting with happiness or whether you want to reach out to say thank you, a little Market Goodness stamp set with all its coordinating dies and this fun little cross stitch stamp and all the beautiful papers and those lovely embellishments, those dots in those shades of green and purple. A great little suite of products. So if you haven't really had that on your radar, now's a good time to be adding it to your collection. And there is going to be, coming up in the very near future, a bit of a money off on some of those papers. So get your list ready of all the lovely papers that you're going to want to create gorgeous cards with, going through the rest of the summer on into the autumn and winter and beyond. And these, as I say, they're fabulous cards for all sorts of people, all sorts of reasons, all sorts of occasions. So yeah, it's a good one to have in your collection. So thank you for joining me on this, what is here, very warm afternoon. I think I'm going to go and get myself a cold drink now and yeah, cool down a bit. I feel as if I've gone pretty poppy parade in colour myself. But yeah, so have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll be back with you next week. And until then, take care and make sure you're eating those 5 a day of all those fruit and veggies. So see you all very soon.